There we go. Hit the right button. Hi, everyone. Or g'day in the Aussie lingo, isn't it? How are you, Leanne?
G'day, mate.
It was about 7:15 before I got out of bed, which for me is a bit late. I'm usually up a bit earlier than that. And I thought, oh, gosh. And I can't remember what I've done since, but it's one of those mornings where it's the little things that just muck up.
Yeah.
I splashed the milk as I put it in. I cleaned that up and then kettle's boiled, and then the next thing you pour the water in, I've splashed the coffee again. It's little things like that.
Yep.
And it really does start, it's
annoying.
The things that annoy you, the stuff that gets up your nose. And
yep. I had one of those last night. Coming home from Adelaide, I said to my daughter, do you want a Macca's ice cream, like a McFlurry? She's been pretty good on that. She goes, yeah, all right. I mean, I just feel like a hot apple pie. So I get to Macca's, I order a hot apple pie. I come home, I open the cream splashes everywhere because the lid's stuck. It hadn't been open, it was a brand new one. Go to bite into the apple pie, and it's not a frickin' apple pie, was it? It was custard and raspberry. So it was like this big, half the size of an apple pie. And I'm just like, oh.
It tastes nice though?
No.
On the
with custard, like you got a tube of, we got a tube of raspberry and a tube of custard on each side of the pie, and then I smothered it in cream too, so it wasn't the greatest.
Because I don't go to Macca's or the fast food ones very often, but because I had a chiro appointment on Monday. What day are we today? Gee, that was only yesterday. These moments that crop up that I sort of think, that's right, what day am I in? And it's those things too, the memory. I had the parathyroid done. It hasn't done much for some parts of my memory at all. But anyway, that's fine. We can excuse that. I'm getting up to 60. No excuse, really. But anyway, we went to what's that place? The Mexican one? The something.
Sombreros.
Yeah, that one. But we went to the Murray Bridge one because that's where we ended up for lunch. Nice. Sandy and I did that. We go to the chiro together, so it's good fun. Had a good day, but lovely, yummy meal, and she hadn't been to there at all before. Tried that Mexican. It's not going to be hot, is it? No, it's beautiful food. Very nice.
It is. So much healthier too.
Yeah. It's the black rice, not the brown wild rice. It's a black rice. I really like that for some reason. It's just got that different flavour, texture. Oh, I just find it does. Really
I love the bowls, the IQ bowl.
Yeah, it's the bowl.
What I have.
That we did because it was more when you were still round at the Body, Mind, Spirit for Wellbeing Centre on Cameron Road that I got used to actually going there and liking it and learning what it was like. It was yum, yum. So the Murray Bridge one's just as yum, yum, yum.
That's good. I just can't see myself getting my mouth around a burrito without making a mess. Better in the bowl.
Bowls. And I did. I might have a nachos meal one day. Who knows? So,
not bad.
Yes, the messages are coming in, so that's good. Yeah. Because the amount of time lately too that I've been spent, why my brain went from that to a Facebook thing, with some of the training that we're doing, with some of what we're learning in, with doing things on Facebook that's more business oriented compared to just I was about to say waste time. You can still do that even in the time that you sort of allocate yourself, going down those rabbit holes. And I can remember seeing someone, why my brain's gone to that, someone saying, I think it is that factor this morning, it's the little things that annoy and stuff that, it really does get up your nose. And especially, I suppose, since I have gotten quite used to and enjoy doing those daily card readings that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And there is one in that, you know, it's a pair of the third pair is someone or something that annoys you. And I try to avoid that because how often do we actually, you know, the things that we know are going to be annoying and what does annoy us, we try to avoid it. And I sort of think, gee, what sort of things am I trying to avoid that I really need to get done? What sort of things do you actually find get up your nose that you really try to avoid? And even people that are listening, watching, what really annoys them that gets up their nose so much they actually try to avoid it? And, you know, is there a solution?
Paperwork count. I know you love paperwork, but I don't.
Oh, well, hang on, I'm going to take your names down now. I've got you on solo now too. So what was that you really like to avoid? Shall we address this problem?
Paperwork, a messy desk, dishes. Housework. Yeah, what are they?
And I'm going to put mine on solo now and say dusting. I really do not like dusting. It annoys the heck out of me because, why is it? It comes back.
Yeah, you turn your back and it's there.
Yeah. I really like the little, what are those, you know, the little messages that people put and share on Facebook, memes. Is that actually what they're called?
I think so. Oh, I've got to turn my phone on silent thing and it's still on charge. It stopped.
I have just put mine on aeroplane mode just after we started. One of those.
I raced past mine and didn't even get it off a charge this morning, so it's still in the passage.
I actually had to find remember where I'd actually put it this morning. I'd left it out somewhere in the lounge room.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is the little things that come up. And with dusting for me, it is someone had put up, I'm just frightened it might be one of my relatives come back. You know how it's the ashes to ashes, dust to dust and all that sort of stuff.
I like that. That's a good reason not to dust.
I thought that too.
That's cute.
Yeah, I thought that. I've just had the hello from there.
Katie, hers is dishes.
Yes, mine are dishes. Now that's
I'm with you, honey.
Before. And I've got the luxury this time at the moment because I've got the two houses currently at the moment. I'm living in this one at Menengi and going to be 99% moving into the Port Elliot one at some point soon in the future, maybe this year. I've got a new dishwasher in that one and a new dishwasher in this one, and I'm able to compare which dishwasher is best. One costs a lot more than the other. Does one do the same as the other, as well as the other? And it's good to compare, but with two of us, I've got to wait a bit before I actually get a full load to do a good comparison. I would say dishwashers are good.
I've got two. I've got the powered one, the mechanical one, and the husband. He comes home or gets up in the morning, has his breakfast, and if there's dishes there, he'll do them. But he's not home at night to eat with us to make the dishes. Yeah.
I have to admit that Tony does dishes very easy. I mean, the manual method is the best, ultimately, when you actually have the water really hot and a lot of nice suds and all that stuff.
Good money, honey.
And I'll just go down the list. Not going to do the messages yet. I think I've got, and the dishes and KB. Oh, that was you anyway. We have Vesta was on. I did put a hello from Vesta, I think, and Sandra. Just thought I better actually acknowledge. We do have a few here, don't we now?
We do, yeah. Lovely.
So what was this? Wondering. Were there messages coming through? Messages, not the messages that we get through, but the messages sitting on the back of it. So that I can see the comments.
It did take a while this morning, so I'm wondering if Facebook and Be Live are sort of making changes again. So, which is possible.
Look, it is possible. I have been lately, the beta version of the Be Live TV, I have been using that one to do my daily one, like that morning one. So it takes a little bit too to actually get back from the thinking I'm using that one to this one that is the scheduled post version that's being used. So it does take a little bit to shift that thinking back to it and see how I'm supposed to do the screen. Because with this one I have to do a share screen, and I'll bring it up now because we probably will move into some of the questions because we're at we're almost nearly at a halfway mark, as in the half hour. What is it, 10 to? Oh, close enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's the little mixed, like that shared screen, as you can see it in the middle. I've had to bring back in the eCam, share the screen of that one with this, because unlike this version, I've got to do it that way, whereas the beta version, for those that have been watching my lives, with that version 2, you can actually have a second camera in on the same show, so I don't actually have to have the eCam up, which is pretty nifty, and it shows up a bit differently. So these are the ways we can do it around. Didn't I have last time where that message, the shared screen was in the middle big?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
It probably depends which order you brought us up into the lobby by.
Yes. Well, I'll be going solo like that in a moment. And as you can see, I've got a nice green screen so that I can actually bring up the cards like that this time. So hopefully that'll work in the set out that I've got right now. It might not for the full show. I don't know. I had to move things around a bit, so that's all right. Now, because that's another thing that gets up my nose, the small space I'm trying to keep it to a nice small space and get the setup that I want for doing the live streams. You're about to have some experimenting with how you want to do this sort of thing for your courses.
I think it's giving me grey hairs just thinking about it. You're not even Rose. Help.
Now, which way did you just point?
To the grey hairs?
You had the hairs right now.
That was the phone. That's me on the phone.
Silly me. Phone.
Well, I know I can yell. Well, my kids tell me I can yell, but from Mount Barker to Meningie, I don't think you're going to quite hear me.
Probably not, but it's an interesting thing. When I was a young girl, and I was a young girl once upon a time.
That's what my kids do.
Well, we were in dairying. And one of the things that Dad used to always say, as far as my voice went back then, because it would be, for those who know distance with land, it probably was, 500 metres. Some of the paddocks could have been a kilometre away. I could tell the dog to go way back in the paddock from the dairy, and it could be that distance, and the dog would hear me and bring the cows in. So, I did have a pretty good voice. Loud.
I love it. Yeah.
Might be able to do something that way. Who knows? What's the thing that, the cooey that the Aussie... there is a competition.
I've tried it. Never sounds like,
Oh, it's all good.
I love that.
Yeah. So, as things go, we probably should... It's lovely to have all of these questions coming on. It's one of the things that we do recognise, that there's a lot of psychic medium shit happening on the mytimetv.live. It's not always that with a show that comes up. So for anyone even here that's watching now, it's great to have it spread around but the awareness too that there's not just psychic mediums on this mytimetv.live. There's going to be other styles of programs popping up as consistent programs too. So keep your eye out for it, and do read the description of what show you're actually watching first before you start to ask questions about messages and wanting a reading, because not all of the shows are psychic mediums. So I wanted to get that out and reinforce that, because Leanne and I do have our links in the description. We do have a description saying it might be tarot cards and readings.
Yeah. And it is funny talking to those broadcasters or those hosts, because they're constantly getting psychic questions and they're having to say sorry. Yeah. So it does pay to check the shows out on the description. Yeah. They've got very interesting shows, so it's worth checking out their shows as well.
Definitely.
Psychic questions.
So read the descriptions. And we do have a few here. I was just wondering, Veska, did you actually, I'm just referring to this one that I popped up earlier as far as having problems with the connection. Did you actually put one in there that was to do with that? I know, Leanne, you keep a bit more of an eye on the comments than I do, I'd have to say.
I didn't see one, but then I wasn't really watching either.
No. So with that, I will put up Veska's first question, because we do like to have the questions being fairly specific so that they're reasonably quick to answer, so that we can get through more in that half hour that's left, or just over half an hour that's left. Okay.
Just while you're shuffling, Rose, do you want me just to quickly jump on that?
Yeah.
While you get a card. First of all, honey, I want to say look at what's going on universally, because the universe is really challenging us to let go of stuff. When I read about your health issues, I actually feel like it's stuff that you've held on to in your energy field for so long that has manifested into the physical side of it. So I want to say look at what is being brought up from the past, what you haven't dealt with, or you have sort of scratched the surface but not gone deep enough with it. I do feel that you're going to get on top of this, but it's just about moving that energy. So maybe a healing may help. You can also meditate to clear your energy. But there is a shift coming, and it's not that far away. Okay.
And I think just drop that comment. It takes up too much of that space. With the cards, I did feel led to do two for you, and it is books and the ring, which is what I'm feeling is that there's probably been some indecision too around study, around doing something that's going to extend more into your own health and wellness with well-being, doing something that needs to be working at books or writing, something along that line's what I'm feeling, and that the ring is more the commitment to actually do that for yourself and moving into that arena, so that I'm feeling that in itself, even if it's just the process, I'm actually sensing that there's more of a writing factor in this one, and that the cathartic, that healing of self with doing that process, even if it's not a published something at the end of it, if you can understand that, and that the best person to understand it is you. Okay, and that's what I'm sensing from that. Okay, now just moving on, just like this one was what we had as far as a start too, earlier on with the pinched toes. Did you actually sense, Leanne, who it is that might have been doing the pinching?
I get an elderly gentleman. I want to say grandfather figure, so I don't know if it's grandfather for the 7-year-old or grandfather for you, but I get the white hair with that. So, and I get a little bit of a roundish face with his energy, a bit cheeky. So it's definitely not harmful. I get very loving energies. I do feel like I'm connected with the family with that. I always say to people when things happen like that, I looked up before because I seen spirit walk through my reading room, and that could be for my client that is due at 12 o'clock. But I always say trust your first thought. Where your mind goes firstly, trust that. That's the connection with spirit before your monkey mind comes in and sort of starts questioning that. Okay?
Yeah, I haven't got a card for you, but what I have sensed is the walking stick.
Yeah.
I was seeing a walking stick that went with whoever it was that was pinching the toes. So when you said grandfather, I thought, well, that's probably quite right. Did he have a walking stick? And go through the next one. Lily.
Hey, Lily.
Insight for what's ahead for the next 2 weeks. Well, that's direct. 2 weeks. Got anything, Leanne?
Oh, I think things are up in the air at the moment. I want to say things will start to settle. For some reason, I want to put paperwork around you. So whether you're waiting for the finalisation of something or news of something being finalised, I do feel that there's a shift coming too around that. So as in a shift of energy, a positive shift. Plan the travel too. I don't want to say in the next 2 weeks, but I want to say planning the travel. Sign the paperwork.
Sorry, just realised I actually muted myself. Sorry about that.
You didn't do a lot of yet. I didn't see the mouth moving.
No, yeah. So the card, I actually felt I needed to do the 3 cards. So it's the child, the magnifying glass, and the key. So it's in the next 2 weeks. What I'm seeing with that is a more interaction with your childlikeness and feeling that unlocking more of that and looking at it for the change of perspective of how you're moving into the coming 2 weeks. It's putting on that more innocent mind of opening up and becoming more aware from that type of a frame set, mindset that you're excited. It's almost like an excitement. You know how children actually are so interested in exploring what they're doing and learning and finding out. They do it more by doing and experiencing than being told what to do or reading what to do. I'm feeling that this is actually more a message to unlock at that type of perspective for yourself as you're moving into the 2 weeks. So
Kind of there's a bit of commitment that comes with it.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, and that's part probably of what that magnifying glass is suggesting as well, is that you're looking deeper into it once that exploration is happening. So hopefully that's something that you can understand as if you're looking at those cards. And I'm on to, which one was that one? That was Lily, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was thinking Louise. I'm thinking it's not Louise.
And I think here we've got Melinda just under. I'm going all over the place, which normally I start from the bottom and work up. So.
I've been doing that a bit lately. I just roll the mouse and wherever the ball stops, that's where I go. Unless I've already answered this. Okay. I get the need for communication, honey, with that side of it. I do feel that the energy is a little bit up and down in the air, so to speak, but I get the reference to the need for communication because I feel like both of you are holding back at the same time. So open those lines up and watch how you get the change there. Okay.
Yeah. And with what I have there, Melinda, it's actually bear, and that's about strength and nurturing. So I think that follows through to actually stand your ground and being able to communicate with that strength in what you actually want, what you're actually expecting out of the relationship. So, okay, and I'll drop that one back down. And we'll move on to another, which is, I think we answered one for Veska, didn't we? Sharp Tail, I've seen yours. Hi, loves. How are you this morning? Well, it's our morning. It might not be for you. Is Mum okay? Yeah. What's my father's intention with her? I found out he's a sociopath any info on this situation and why the universe allow this evil to happen. Thank you. I'll just add, and this is only my own opinion, it's us who put the judgment on how things are, whether it's good or bad. It just is, and that's how the behaviour is. So I'm just needing to say it in that way before we answer. So just me and my opinion. So what are you getting for her there, Leanne?
I get the feeling in your father's head, he doesn't feel that he's done any wrong. So I don't know if there's mental health issues there, the mental sort of side of stuff with that. But I do, at the same time, I do feel that Mum has a choice to make. So at the moment, I feel like she's deciding or has chosen to stay there as well. Okay. I get this fear around the unknown if Mum was to leave in that way. Okay. I get there's a lot of verbal sort of energy there as well. So I think it's going to play out okay. I'm not getting warning bells go off about it. Mum has a way of being able to control things to a degree. So I do feel that there's certain things that she's aware of that she needs to be careful of, okay? But like I said, at the moment, I'm not getting warning bells, okay?
And
at the moment, things can change anytime.
As I move to the cards, the ship, even though it's travel, it's usually indicating travel as in what we consider tourism type travel, but it can also mean a shift in direction and a place to go. The 19 is Tower, which can be to do with business and the rest, but I'm feeling it's also a place of power. So as Leanne was saying about each of us, just expanding on that, each of us do have our choices and can make decisions around how we behave, and the perception, that the dad doesn't really think is that what you were saying, that the dad doesn't see himself as being that power in, using abusing power and the rest.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's in a sense why I mentioned beforehand that it is our own perception of how we actually see things that can colour what we do and how we react to people too. I'm going to go to that because there's the whichever direction those cards are sitting that way anyway. It is a shift. It is a choice that's going to be made as far as do I have the power or do I succumb to the power? And it's just that change in perception, and it can be whichever way it's going to be. It's perfect for them to make each of their own decisions, and we can only just but be the witness to others around us. Sometimes it's just a meaning of do not interfere, it's their karma. It's knowing ourselves and asking those questions with our spirit guides. What's my purpose in this? Is it just to be a support or a witness, or I need to do something? That's only you can decide.
And that's the thing, honey. If you feel that Mum is at risk, maybe and you are the closest one to it, maybe there is the need to reach out for help. Okay? So, trust your gut instincts. Okay? But like I said, at the moment, I'm not getting warning bells go off. So, but that doesn't mean Mum's not putting up with the abuse mentally, physically. Like physically, I don't feel there is, but verbally is very different. Okay.
And it can be a challenge, yes, but that's probably I'll just up that. It can sometimes be that we need those moments to actually build our own strength in making those decisions to stand up against, and all that. So, okay. Now, I've got KB there with guidance, and she is more specific about with the health not being out of balance, and will those problems come to an end sometime soon. So I can start for another child. Anticipations.
Exciting. Yes, I definitely see another child there. I just feel like you're missing something. I don't know if I'm with hormones or I'm with like vitamins, minerals. side of it. So I just feel like your body is missing, what would you call it, an element, so to speak.
I straight away got diet, the balance of the food.
Yeah.
So whether there's something that, like you said, missing from the diet, look at the balance of the, not so much the elements of, the food pyramid type thing, but look at the colour of the rainbow and have the colours in your food that are like a rainbow, and that's going to cover most of what you're needing, and see how you go with that. We're not doctors. We only go with what we know from our experiences, and so if you really feel the need, consult with your practitioners, those you trust.
I don't know if you're missing a bit of magnesium. Like our food doesn't have magnesium in it as much as it used to, but I'm drawn to magnesium with you, honey. So I feel like I would look at magnesium oil. I can highly recommend Karma Rub. Rubbing it on your skin, it gets in your system quicker. But yeah, I do feel there's something missing, but you'll get back on top of it. Okay?
Yeah, selenium was something that popped into my head too, but whether that was, I go back sometimes also to, because I'm from a farming background, sometimes a lot of what we actually miss is because the soil it's grown from is missing it. So
that's it.
Try, and that's probably leading to try as much organic and trusted grower as well too, with the type of food that you're eating. I know we can't always find that out when it's, most of us do buy from supermarkets. It's not so much of the farm gate stuff anymore to what used to be, but there is always options and researching it. So and Barbara, I'll take a pic there. Hello, lovely ladies. Any messages from my beautiful son who passed away last year? That's your domain.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Honey, first of all, I want to touch on you before I touch on your son. The moment I started to read your question, I got a tiredness come over me. So I do feel that you are very, I'm going to say exhausted, tired. I'm actually holding back from yawning my head off at the moment. So, and it's not my tiredness that I'm feeling. It's a different feeling to my own. But I also get the throat, the blocked throat chakra, so the need to be able to communicate or the need to be able to be heard in the way that you want to be heard. So I do feel there's a couple of things going on around you currently as well. Now, your son, I get a beautiful smile, but I feel like I've got the ups and the downs. So I'm going to say on a bit of a roller coaster before he passed with that side of it. So I just feel like, I don't want to say two people, but I just feel like I'm on a high and then I'm on a low, but it's just that sort of bit of a roller coaster. He's got his hand on his heart, which is my sign for love and pride. I do get there's a bit of a cheeky energy with your son as well. And I feel that you feel that cheekiness around you since his passing. And I do get the reference to that he has connected with you in your dreams as well. So I want to say that there may be times you don't remember your dreams, but you are getting those messages on a soul level from him as well. He also wants to acknowledge the difficulties that you have been through since his passing. But I get, Mum, I am proud of you. Okay, so I want to just remind you of that inner strength that you have that keeps you going, all right? Because he said you kept the family together as well. All right, there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of pride. I love the way that his face lights up when he would smile. Okay, so I'll leave you with that, honey. Thank you.
And the card that I did pull, the roll of the dice, as Leanne was saying, the roller coaster and the rest. I thought, it just seems, I was just grinning to myself because of the connection with that, the roller coaster, roll of the dice. It seems like he did flow really well with what was just flowing as an energy in his life. So it does feel like happiness. So that's what.
He wasn't meant to grow old, but he lived a full life is the feeling I get. Okay.
And have we done one for D? Yes, we did. That was a big knows? Oh, gee, you're better at keeping a track of these. Now, I don't think we've had one that we've looked at from Carly. They're long messages this morning, I've noticed. So having an extremely hard time getting through some things that have affected her family's future. So she'd like to know if even after what's happened, will things turn out the way we had intended in the first place?
I get yes, hun. My glasses are fogging up. I get yes to that, honey. Now, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So I understand that it's been testing, but at the same time, you've got the strength to get through that. So just allow this energy to flow. Sometimes we've got to lose things to gain more. All right. Now, I know that probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but sometimes we do need to lose things, but not also. It's also to appreciate what we've got at the same time, but usually it will come around in fourfold sort of thing with that side of it. So, yes, it'll be better than you expected is the reference I get with that. Okay, so all the best with that. This time is a good time for manifesting too. Just make sure you clearly manifest.
Yes. And I nearly hit the wrong button when I did the unmute too. I dropped myself out of the whole show. That would have been a bother. You'd have carried through quite easily there, Leanne. It's the older male energy. It's the yang energy around, the forward movement for me with the scythe is actually, it's to do with weeding. It's to do with harvesting too. So whichever way it bounces, I think, what you've put in place, what your intentions have been, are going to create that fruit, that harvest. It might not be exactly in the way that you intended, but I think really it's going to be like Leanne said, which I wasn't listening to, I must admit, because I was trying to shuffle and do
it out.
You know what it's like, Leanne, don't you?
Yes, you do. You get in that zone.
Yeah. So I think really in that respect, listen to Leanne. She said it right.
Roz, can I just touch? Michaela at 1110 has put a reply up there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully soon. Being told on another reading that I have problems conceiving and carrying the baby. Very frustrating. Now, honey, I do want to add to that. And some readers do my head in the way they deliver messages as well, but, I can't control that. We've got to be careful that we don't manifest those things. So in saying that, if you are focusing on that, you can actually manifest that to happen. You can put those blocks there and cause that unhealthy pregnancy, so to speak. So I want to say, see yourself conceiving, having that happy, healthy pregnancy with a beautiful, healthy baby at the end, and release that out to the universe every day. Because if we get stuck on the negative, that's what we're going to bring in. All right. I'm a big believer in focus on the negative, you're going to manifest more negative. Focus on the positive, you're going to bring positive energy in. All right. So I just want to add that. Thank you, honey. You muted yourself, Roz.
Yeah, I did. Well,
you've been a lottie.
Because I don't remember to do the unmute. It was just a quickly as I was shuffling, there was the owl, and I thought, wise words. Yeah. Do definitely.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Really do definitely need to actually focus on the positives, and because what we think is what we end up manifesting. It's a very well-known thing in the metaphysical law of attraction and all the rest of it. I mean, it's everything you experience is the whole of what you're going to project out for what spirit are going to help you with. And if it's going to be that, you're on negative things, going to get what you want.
Yeah, that's it. And I just want to add to that as well, guys. If you're having a reading and something doesn't resonate with you or doesn't feel right to you, please don't hold on to it. And I want to say, in readings in general, you come and have a reading, you should just take it as guidance, not live your life by it, because we have the ability to make change from what is being seen right now. So we could give you some information today, but you might decide down the road, say tomorrow, you want to turn to the right and you want to change your life completely. That necessarily isn't always going to be picked up in a reading, because you are, it might not be the right journey for you to make that change. But at the same time, you could just take it with a grain of salt, live your life and allow it to play out, all right? And then do the reflection.
And a lot of the time, it's the energy around you at that point in time too. Like you said, it might not be seen in that reading. It's around the corner. So much. And I just flipped this one up because I don't know who Katie saw whose question, but it is that don't give up. It just caught my eye, and I sort of thought, well, I've only had the one miscarriage. You've had 5 and still went on to have 4 more children. So it really is, each individual person has their own experience in life that is theirs. So don't give up.
It. Yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah, it is a very good point, Katie.
Yeah. There you go. There's another one that Veska's given some feedback on too, as far as the study goes. So she's been thinking about it. So that's great to know.
Yep. So you're on the right path, honey.
Confirmations. Now, no, we haven't, because I don't think we've done one for Cherie. So that's how many children do you see for me in sexes, please?
I see 3.
Well, I was thinking 2 boys, but which way round?
I got 2 boys, 1 girl. 2 and 1.
That's an easy one. Was there anything more?
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, they'll be beautiful kids, honey. You're going to make a wonderful mum.
I think that, and it's allowing that nurturing and the, the motherly, because I used to always think, I wasn't a very maternal mother, but my lot turned out okay. Sometimes. But you'll be the perfect person you need to be as a mother for your children.
Definitely.
And we have Louise from Ontario. I've seen your name a few times.
Hey, gorgeous lady.
Yes.
I was wondering if I will find my true love soon. Yes, somebody will put that person in front of you. So I'm going to say the male in spirit will help you find that. Okay. I get the number 7 around that. Oh, that sounds like an exciting card.
I just bring it up. I just love rainbows. Put it up and drop the comment. The writer, it's instant message. It's something. It's going to happen soon. That's what I think. So you're saying 7. Well, what's soon? July?
Yeah, either the 7th month or the number like July. Yeah. Look at it. Just open yourself up, honey, because I just feel like it's not going to be exactly who you expect, but it'll be better. So just open yourself up, be the beautiful you, and shine. Okay. I get excitement around it.
Yes.
It's been a while in the making. Okay.
Oops, I think I'm going backwards. I can't remember where we got to now.
That was Louise.
My hair is starting to get in the way. That's one of the other things that gets up my nose. Because
your mouth?
I was sharing with Leanne earlier before we started, because I was walking along I don't go outside walking all that often, but I happened to this one morning, and, the hair was actually down. I do have a hair band, and it's the longest my hair's ever been. I haven't had it trimmed up for a while, as in shorter. And walking along, and next thing, a gust of wind blew it into my mouth. But instead of just being in my mouth, the strand, there's one that's really long here, and it just went straight down the whole throat, like I could feel it at the back of the tonsil. The weirdest feeling, most horrible tickle. I coughed for quite a while after I managed to get it out of my mouth, out of the throat. And oh God, it's at times, sometimes you get that little hair up the nose that just tickles. and I think that's probably why I said what gets up your nose this morning, because of the combination of different hairs.
Yeah. It made me feel like wanting to gag when you're talking about it.
It was the weirdest feeling. It was like, oh my goodness, and trying to keep track of what I'm doing in the background here, and all the different things I'm meant to be doing. Bookkeeping, book work today. I must get some stuff prepped for tax. It's last year, this year, whatever. It's still a necessity when you're in business. It's still a necessity even when you're in the private respect of your home. You still got your bills to pay, and sometimes it means budgeting, and this one has that much, until you can actually pay off your bills. Or it's just, oh yeah, I'll pay that, and do it that way. It doesn't matter. You still got to do it. And
must order gas too.
Yeah. and yeah, well, it's logistics, isn't it?
I think I might write that one down.
Glad I could remind you of something there.
I was in the shower this morning. I thought, I bet that bottle's getting low.
Yes, I mean, used to have a farm on Kangaroo Island, and it was by gas. You had to supply your own water, so there's lots of tanks, and it was gas. That was the way of cooking on the stoves that were actually installed there. So you had to remember to I had 2 bottles at every point so that you didn't run out. Didn't always work because two did run out at the same time.
Yeah, well, I'm the only one that thinks about it in this house, and somebody likes to have an hour shower at times, and and it's not me.
When you're out on an island like that and you run out of your own water supply, that's it.
That's a worry.
I think, well, you could cart it, but it wasn't cheap. It's very interesting, the different areas that we all can be living in, and it's always the same basic issues that you're actually facing. So none of us are really that different from one another. So your absolutes are, you need clean air, you need clean water, you need clean food. That's the basics. And shelter if you want to be warm and cool, So we're all part of that whole humanity, basically.
Donna's just there saying hello from the US. Hey, Donna. Please you can join in. 11:21.
Wow, there. Oh, yeah, there. Got it. Oh, it's wonderful to see that, like the technology that we use. I'm just so amazed at how far it's come, especially when I'm looking up at a photo that was taken at the turn of the century, as in the 19th century, of when there was some land first cleared at, I think it was at Mangalo, which is West Coast, South Australia, raw country. And I look at it and think, wow, the amazing things that our ancestry has done to become where we are right now with all of the technology and everything that we've got, and thinking at that point in time they thought they were doing the right thing, and yet there's all those trees gone, and you see some of those palm oil tree plantations being done in Indonesia, and lots of ground going, and the orangutans being threatened, and that. Wow, when do we know to stop? That's just my own internal question. Now I'll get on to where we were. Am I wandering?
Slightly. Hey, Laurie. Any insight on my new house and on which area I may pursue career-wise? Thank you. Okay, insight on my new house. I get 2. I feel like I'm about 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So I don't know if you're that close to your new house, but I get 6 to 8 with that side of it. So I feel like I want to go with weeks with that side. Okay. Sure, career-wise. I actually want to put you around children, honey, working with children and paperwork.
Gosh. Yeah. I've got an interesting set of cards here that I'm just going to bring up. Paperwork. As you're talking, because it's the older woman, the key, when with the house, I mean, the key's coming, that you'll be at the lock-up stage, you'll be able to, it is that, it feels like But to do that, I'm not sure where the older woman energy is. Is that where you are in your stage of life? You're at that, that the I call it the croning personally, because I'm moving into that. I'm the turning 60. I feel like I'm at that. Like a pregnancy has the trimesters. You have the start, the middle, and the end, and the same even with the actual labour itself. You have 3 stages of labour. Things seem to happen in the 3s, and I'm feeling that you're in that. That's where it's feeling for me. I have no idea what your age is, but the keys are it's there, so it's happening, and there is something that you're going to have to let go. So it's probably where you are already now before you actually move in. So, which areas career-wise? No, that's not answering that at all. I'm not getting anything actually for the career myself. Did you answer that part of it, Leanne? Or?
Yeah, I felt like working around children and paperwork. I could see paperwork around her.
Yeah. There you go. That's interesting. Or just a wise era coming up for you. Yeah. Interesting. I'll drop that back down now because it wanted 3.
In the timing. Yep. It's all in the timing, honey. That's the reference I get. I did see a message there from Simone saying that she's not feeling like herself lately. So I want to ask her now. Simone is one of my lovely students doing my beginner's course. So, honey, I'm going to put this as a question. I'm not going to answer it for you. So who do you feel like? It's not your energy. All right. So this is a learning curve. All right. So I want you to sit with it and just acknowledge what it is that you're feeling, and who is it that you're feeling? What and whose energy is it? We know it's not yours. You know that. All right. So sit with that one. I'd love to know put it in an enclosed group. Let me know what you think, because you may find other students are feeling the same thing as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
And it's even a lesson for anyone else that's not students. We are our own teachers too in that respect, and you do need to query and use your own discernment. Like query self, actually, is it my energy? I'm not feeling myself lately. Well, somebody could be bringing in that message for you, couldn't it?
That's it, because if we are intuitive, we take on other people's energies. So, and I quite often, and it's the same with anxiety and depression, I quite often ask people with anxiety, do you feel like you? If they say yes, well, then it's theirs. If they go, no, it doesn't feel like me, I know it's not their energy that they're taking on. They're carrying the energy of somebody else.
And I think too, especially for so many that are inquiring, we've got people asking questions, wanting answers to, what's perceived as problems or different aspects in life. There's times where, there's so many that don't even think, no, I'm not psychic and all the rest of it. And yet actually all of us do have it. And it's just sometimes that feeling, like you said, the uncertainty, is it mine or not? It's an awakening of being able to suss that, this, a new awareness for people, and not understanding it, just being open to learning that, yes, I am getting these messages. It might not be mine, just as simple as that. And I was just going to quickly go to the last one. I just noticed what the time was. So I thought, we probably better sort of start to wind down a little bit.
Yeah. Simone's just replied, laugh out loud, I get you. Good. Excellent. Sit with that. I love it. Yes. Anthony, that's beautiful. My daughter's name's spelled the same, but just one less N.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, my partner and I get through this rough patch. I get yes, honey. I did see that before in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it straight away, yes. And I actually, look, instead of doing that, I just got the birch whip sort of thing. So it's actually, I'm feeling that I've got something funny just come up on the screen. That's a bit weird. It's to do cracking the whip. It's both having to do. I'm just getting both having to get better at the communication. It's both having. It's not something that's a passive thing. Cracking the whip. There's action involved in it as well. Listening, speaking, listening, doing for each other, caring for each other. It's all of that that's in the right balance. That's just what came up with that. So I needed to actually share that. Yeah. Oh, there you go. That was the answer for the age and coming into a stage of wisdom for Laurie. So there you go.
So it'll be interesting to see if she's just moved in the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So
yes, she do love to work with the children, so that's great.
Yeah.
So thank you for that feedback. So we will actually leave it there for today's. We can be contacted further via our professional channels, please, because it is something to respect. Yes, we are offering this as free readings and the rest through the day. Not everybody gets their... Oh, I haven't got that full screen. Not everybody gets their readings done. Sometimes I do try to go back when I can, or I've got the time, to add little bits for those who've missed out. It possibly isn't
today, because she's got to do her paperwork.
I was just about to say that it won't be this week because I really do need to be doing my paperwork. I need to get some tax stuff lodged, and the next year's, like this current year's, up to scratch, because I've got other things I'm planning to do with virtual assistant work, with the card readings and doing things on Twitch, learning new stuff. I mean, it all takes time, and that's where exactly, and that's where the discernment, even for you who are watching, that's where the discernment is in what are your priorities, what do you really want to be doing in your life, what path, what feeling have you got around the gut feeling really of what's your purpose, what are your next steps, where you want to go. And that is, we're part of that because we can help at times, but there's a lot of other times you need to be helping yourself and actually doing the questioning of self inside. Go to your soul space, go to those, and there's ways of doing that. Meditation, there's hypnosis, there is coaching, life coaching, there's so many different ways. Go to who attracts you to them, It's trusting our energy matches. Yeah, and it's trusting where you're being guided to. That's what our guides are for. They are helping us. You've got to be open to being aware and receiving those messages for yourself to then follow up. We're happy to help, but through the correct channels, please. So we have got the links in the description, and we are going to be here next week. And if I get time, I'll go back to some of the comments and questions you've asked, but it's no guarantees. And thank you for being present. Thank you for sharing around to those that you know it'll be beneficial for. And I don't mind using the share word, because to me, no word is illegal. It is only language. It's to understand each other and what our intentions are in giving you what we know. And thank you for feedback on what we have given you. It's great. We'll see you next week. Anything you want to close on, Leanne?
No, just breathe, ground yourself, take a moment for yourself and just do the reflection. Remember, we're in a time of manifestation at the moment, so big things.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Roz.
It's good fun too.
Exactly. So
I'll see everyone next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.